No administration has helped Israel more than I have. None. None.
You're a fucking idiot, dude. You old, monstrous corpse. You fucking dingus. You dumb fuck. No administration has helped Israel more than I have. It's a fucking foreign country, you jackass. You're the goddamn American president. Have some fucking respect and decency for the office. These are things that I don't even give a fuck about myself. But you should. Let's hear what the Biden surprise appearance at the White House press briefing was.
Hey, folks. My name's Joe Biden.
Welcome, Mr. President.
We've been waiting for you.
Welcome to the swimming pool.
This is great.
Hey, look, folks, good afternoon. The past 2 days we've gotten some very good news about the American economy. Just yesterday, shipping carriers, after some discussion, an International Longshoremen Union came to an agreement to keep the ports in the East Coast and the Gulf ports open. We averted what could have become a major crisis for the country, and a tentative agreement which includes record wage increases for dock workers and shows the importance of collective bargaining and represents, I think, critical progress toward a strong contract. I especially want to thank the carriers, the port operators, and the Longshoremen's Union for reaching this agreement at a time when the nation has experienced such terrible...
Who do you think exists less, single-issue pro-Israel Democrats or single-issue pro-Dick Cheney Democrats? Single-issue pro-Dick Cheney Democrats, for sure. Because there's like three total pro-Dick Cheney Democrats out there. Not even. It's just Liz Cheney and Dick Cheney, so two. The number is, the actual number I can give you confidently is two. There are two pro-Dick Cheney Democrats out there. Liz Cheney and Dick Cheney. That's it.
Devastation from Hurricane Helene. It was truly a service to the American people for all these parties to come together to respond to our request to keep the ports open. I was determined to avert a crisis at this moment because it's a critical moment. If we didn't do this now, we'd have a real problem. I also want to thank my White House team for the work. They've worked around the clock to bring the parties together. But today, we got more incredible news. Although the strength of the American economy it's about the strength of the American economy. New jobs report, as you all know, you've been reporting, created 250,000 jobs in September. The expectation was for 150,000 jobs in September, which has far exceeded that number. Not only the previous 2 months was the previous 2 months was revised up 75,000 jobs. And from the very beginning, we were told time and again that the policies we were pursuing, we'd put forward weren't going to work, make things worse, including some of the other team are still saying they're going to make things worse. But we've proven them wrong. You know, we've told our we were told our American rescue plan was too big and it would crowd out private investment. We proved them wrong. We vaccinated the nation and got immediate economic relief to people in need. When I came to office, determined to end trickle-down economics and grow the economy from the middle out and the bottom up. I know you're tired of hearing me say that over and over again, but that was the policy. That it remains the policy. Because when you do that, everyone does well. When the middle class grows, the nation's stronger. And the nation's stronger when there's a strong union movement as well. We were told it wouldn't work, but I was also determined to do what was ignored for much too long. Presidents have been authorized since the 30s to be able to spend the money given by Congress to spend the money on hiring American workers and using American product where they were available. And that's what we did. We were told that was going to be a big problem. But all the money I was authorized to spend by the Congress has gone to hiring American workers and using American products. We were told it wasn't going to be. We were told that was going to be a big problem, but it's working. We're also told that our historic laws to invest in America and all Americans would crowd out private sector investment. Well, that was proven wrong too. We've attracted nearly $1 trillion since we've come to office in private.
By By the way, my comment was in response to the standpoint theory argument. That's probably why you're the best commentator on the platform, because you use facts and data to inform your opinions rather than generalize off your experiences, which is what grifters excel at.
Private sector investment.
Dude, can I imagine what it would be like if he stayed in the race, Lamau? Yes, a beautiful prospect for an American future. Okay? Excuse me. In my mind, he's still in the race. That's why I'm writing him in.
From domestic and foreign companies investing in America. In America. Not the stuff of shipping jobs overseas for cheaper labor and bringing back a product to America. We're building it here and sending it overseas. And look at the results. Across the board, unemployment is down 4.1%. And every month, in fact, that Vice President Harris and I have been in office, we've created jobs every single month. The nation has now created 16 million jobs since I've come to office, more jobs created in a single presidential term than any time in American history. Our GDP shows our economy grew at 10% under my administration. Unemployment reached the lowest level in 50 years. We're also told inflation couldn't come down without massive job losses or sending the economy into economic recession. Once again, outside experts were wrong. Inflation has come down. Wages have gone up faster than prices. Interest rates are down. Record 19 million new business applications have been filed for. The stock market continues to reach new heights. We've got more work to do, though.
Can I write you in? Yeah, if you want.
Keep getting prices down.
I got the same level of chances as the Green Party, so.
Like more affordable housing, extending what I've done for seniors and lowering prescription drug costs by letting Medicare negotiate the prices, make sure that's available to everyone. And by the way, what we've done so far, just when we brought down the prices for seniors under Medicare, it saved the taxpayers billions of dollars. Billions of dollars. Saved the taxpayers billions of dollars. That's important to note, because they don't have to pay the exorbitant and irrational prices that these companies are charging. The simple fact is we've gone from economy in crisis to literally having the strongest economy in the world. And but we've got more work to do. We've got more work to do to deal with the things I've just mentioned, and we're going to have to deal with unforeseen cost of what this hurricane is going to cost. It's going to cost a lot of money, and I'm going to probably have to ask the Congress before we leave for more money to deal with some of those problems. But that remains to be seen. I'll take a few questions before I turn it over to you. Pick out people.
Okay. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Go ahead, Josh.
Thanks again for doing this, Mr. President. Two questions. The first, Florida Senator Marco Rubio described today's jobs report as having fake numbers. What do you make of that, and how worried are you that many Americans are hearing that the jobs numbers aren't real?
Well, look, I'm going to be very careful here. If you notice, anything the MAGA Republicans don't like, they call fake. Anything. The job numbers are what the job numbers are. They're real. They're sincere. They're what we are. And by the way, just look at how the EU talks about us, how they like to have an economy like ours. Just talk about the rest of the world looks at us and what we're doing. So I don't want to get going.
And then secondly, could you clarify some of your comments yesterday with regard to strikes on Iranian oil facilities? What did you mean by them, given some of the reactions we're seeing in the market?
Well, look, the Israelis have not concluded what they're going to do in terms of a strike. That's under discussion. I think if I were in their shoes, I'd be thinking about other alternatives than striking oil fields.
Good, Richard.
Thank you, Kareem. Thank you so much, Mr. President, for being here. This week, Senator Chris Murphy said it's certainly a possibility that the Israeli government is not going to sign any diplomatic agreement prior to the election, which is what you have been calling for so long, potentially to try to influence the result. Do you agree?
This is the big one, dude. This answer is phenomenal. And I'm going to give you the Republican version of this as well after.
Do you have any worries that Netanyahu may be trying to influence the election and that's why he has not agreed to a diplomatic solution?
Guys, I'm shocked. I'm shocked. Really? No way. You think Benjamin Netanyahu is trying to influence the outcome of this election? That he's in the tank for Donald Trump? How could you make such a wild assertion? After all, Benjamin Netanyahu has, openly recognized that Donald Trump is the most popular politician in Israel, more popular than Joe Biden, and also more popular than Benjamin Netanyahu and any other Israeli politician. Donald Trump has done more for Israel than anyone else, really. And also, beyond that, Benjamin Netanyahu went to his house to kiss the ring. Wow. How anti-Semitic of this reporter to be asking these sorts of questions to Joseph Robinette Brandon. I cannot seem to place my finger on this. I can't understand how we would arrive at this conclusion that I have been screaming from the fucking rooftops for months at this point. You mean to tell me that Benjamin Netanyahu has routinely fucking shit on Biden for the past 12 months, as Biden has kept saying over and over again that he's just going full tilt, permanent genocide mode, no matter what? It's just weird. How else could we deal with this? How else could we possibly deal with this sovereign nation, our attack dog in the region, that is objectively out of control? How? Shocked.
No administration has helped Israel more than I have. None.
You're a fucking idiot, dude. You old, monstrous corpse. You fucking dingus. You dumb fuck. No administration has helped Israel more than I have. It's a fucking foreign country, you jackass. You're the goddamn American president. Have some fucking respect and decency for the office. These are things that I don't even give a fuck about myself, but you should.
None. And I think Bibi should remember that. And whether he's trying to influence the election or not, I don't know, but I'm not counting on that.
You've said many times recently that you want to speak to him, that you plan
No, I
to.
didn't say plan to. I didn't say want to.
You don't want to?
No, I didn't say that. You're making it sound like I'm seeking and then speaking. I'm assuming when they make the judgment of how they're going to...
This is good. This line of questioning is good. Maybe it'll piss him off to fucking actually... Because he's such a personally malicious and vindictive asshole that if they keep hammering on the point that Benjamin Netanyahu is making you look like a fucking clown ass, maybe then he'll change trajectory instead of crying about it behind closed doors and then giving unlimited weapons and trillions of dollars to Israel. Another $50 billion to Israel meme remains to be true. Potentially, maybe that's the angle here. I don't know. Just keep being like, hey, Biden. Another thing I've also mentioned, by the way, was that like Benjamin Netanyahu is going to ruin his legacy over and over again. Maybe they should communicate that to Biden directly if they have opportunity to meet with him. Hey, Biden, you love your legacy. You care about it, right? You want to be known as like the great elder statesman that saved this country from Donald Trump and then was a transitional candidate that allowed for a new American future. Benjamin Netanyahu is going to tank that for you single-handedly if you keep giving unlimited weapons to him to engage in a genocide. Everyone's going to remember you as a genocidal monster who got also made a fool. Donald Trump, at the very least, is like, no, I love the permanent genocide that Israel is doing. That presents at least like some, that at least to the dumbest Americans makes it seem like Donald Trump is the strong man in this relationship and not Benjamin Netanyahu, who routinely has made you look like a fucking asshole.
to respond. We will then have a discussion.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President, for being here. What are you advising the Israelis to do in terms of their retaliation to Iran? And at this point, you still haven't spoken to Netanyahu. Is it fair to say that you have little personal influence over what he decides to do?
No. Look, our team.
So this is great. This is great because like then he has to admit like, no, all the genocidal stuff that he's doing, I'm on board with, which he is, by the way. Just make no mistake. He is not some fucking random dickhead, okay? He is actually personally invested in the permanent genocide, okay? He is. Which is why he's letting Benjamin Netanyahu do it, just so you guys understand. He is, however, seemingly doing it in the most like squishy liberal way possible, where they have to like maintain the veneer of rule-based international order. Here, let me explain this to you. For example, makes you really admire all the falsified evidence expert testimonials that the State Department produces to try and pretend this is all above board, right? The Leahy Law is great because it proudly and smugly declares the U.S. cannot arm human rights abuses, and then has a carve-out that's like, unless the State Department says nah, a true microcosm of the liberal rule-based order. Okay? You know a law is a real law when a handful of obscure members of Congress constantly have to try and pass subsequent laws to enforce the original law, a real thing that guides U.S. foreign policy. This person replies to Adam Johnson, says, makes you really admire all the falsified evidence that and expert testimonials that the State Department produces. This is a statement about the rule-based international order and the veneer that like the American government, the song and dance that the American government plays to make it seem like we have some rules. Okay? Words cannot begin to describe how important it is to commit to the bit, how central the liberal rules-based order bit is to the United States bureaucratic NGO DoD soft power ecosystem of frustrated humanitarians. It can never die, no matter the evidence to the contrary. It is too big to fail. Once the bit shatters, you have a few million people who wake up and realize they're little more than 2-bit PR instruments, native informant recruiters, and selectively enforcing lawfare dweebs. It will never go away, regardless of how many war crimes the U.S. arms and funds in 4K. Do you understand? That's why I always have like, that is also why I always have like a little bit of frustration when I talk about NGOs. They might be right on the issue of Israel, but they are still playing that role of like, well, the American government, like, you know, it's more than just like an outsourced State Department vehicle. Like, I promise, like these are, and there are genuinely really good people that work at these institutions that do want to fucking help people, and they do marginally move the needle in the right direction. But ultimately, the U.S. the vestiges of American empire are going to behave in the ways that churn out the most bloodshed, and therefore the best possible outcomes for the imperial core. Okay. All you're doing at that point is basically operating like a PR guy, you know? You're basically laundering America's reputation by saying, but look, we got these people. These are the people that are doing the right things. They're even saying it. That's why it falls on deaf ears. They play the exact same role that the United Nations plays, right? They play the exact same role that the UN plays. The UN is like, well, we got rules. Why are we not applying them? And then when you do try to apply those rules, America's like, fuck off, suck my dick. Those rules were not an application in Iraq nor Afghanistan. And those rules are not an application for Israel as well. Israel is an extension of America. That's it. They are there so that the educated liberal thinkers look to those institutions and go, well, you know, some reasonable people are out there. Some reasonable people are just like demanding that people listen to reason, right? Like, well, I guess maybe this is above board. I don't know. America would never do this if it wasn't above board. There's a bunch of people. There's a bunch of people that do actually feel this way. The New York Times readers, for example. Okay? The problem is Israel is so glaringly, obviously in violation of human rights that most people are losing faith in these institutions, even the educated liberals. The older educated liberals are not, because they're firmly committed to the bit. They believe America is, at the end of the day, the best possible version of global dominance you can get. The alternative is far scarier. You got China. Who knows what those guys might do? They're scary. They look different. They sound different. I don't really know their culture. I don't understand it. The alternative is Russia, the USSR, socialism. The alternative is Islamic fundamentalism. I don't want that. I'm scared of that. That's usually the way that people go about it, where they're like, yeah, American empire, they They sometimes do evil things, but ultimately it's far better than the alternative, right? It's far better than this spooky alternative. That's the way that a lot of people look at this. That's the way that a lot of people look at this situation, you know, not really recognizing that like America has beefed up the Islamist fundamentalism in an effort to fight against the USSR back in the day, for example. Anyway, but having said that, it is pretty funny that like they still try to make these like specific lawfare carve-outs in the own song and dance that they're playing at a time when most people are no longer believing the song and dance. Do you see what I'm saying? Young Americans have checked out, okay? An entire generation of Americans is lost in terms of like believing, believing mainstream media. They are completely checked out because they don't even have access to it for the most part. But beyond that, they're checked out in like believing the credibility of these institutions because they didn't do a good enough job of maintaining this song and dance. How the fuck do you bring these people back? How do you bring them back? They made the mistake of running the same exact propaganda that they've run for years and years when there was no alternative to that propaganda, when you had no way of seeing what Palestinians were saying on the ground, the victims of this genocide were saying on the ground. Now with social media, you directly have access to a person who's getting fucking bombed every goddamn week. And you're like, oh my God, this is unimaginable. This is death and devastation. This is death, destruction, and devastation of the highest order. How could we ever fucking let this happen? When that exists, quite difficult for CNN to keep having Jonathan Concuncrius, Frankenstein's monster's ugly ass fucking big old head, come in and contextualize why these Palestinian children had to be killed because they're fucking Nazi children or whatever the fuck they're saying. That's it. Doesn't work. And they haven't been able to pick up the pace on a full-throated propaganda machine that churns out these sorts of like biased results. They haven't been able to socially condition people into believing that like Israel is the defender of the Western world. It's the first shield against the Western world. There are, of course, some online that, you know, frequent Reddit or some of these other places that already have like existing underlying Islamophobic attitudes, and Israel can capture them. But ultimately, it's a failed endeavor because people can still see the harm that they are causing. Anyway, having said that, however, Biden's response here is really fucking stupid. He's like, I'm the greatest defender of Israel. How dare you fucking say that?
Are in contact 12 hours a day. They're constantly in contact. I've already had my presidential daily brief. We've already had interface between our military, the diplomats. It's in constant contact. They are trying to figure out, it's the high holidays as well. They're not going to make a decision immediately. And so we're going to wait to see when they want to talk.
But over the past few months, they've consistently defied your administration's own.
Like, the media should have been asking this question like 8 months ago, man. What do you mean? How many fucking red lines was a red promise for fucking Benjamin Netanyahu? How many instances has Biden turned around and offered another $8 billion in weapon shipments to Israel over and over and over again?
Advice. So do you believe that the Israelis are going to listen to the advice you're giving them?
What I know is the plan that I put together received the support of the UN Security Council, the vast majority of our allies around the world, as a way to bring this to an end. Look, the Israelis have every...
They didn't ask that question. They know that. They're saying, why has Israel violated that over and over again and made you look like a fucking baboon?
Right to respond to the vicious attacks on them, not just from the Iranians, but from everyone from Hezbollah to Houthis. Anyway, and but the fact is that they have to be very much more careful about dealing with civilian casualties.
So how should they respond? You expressed concerns about attacks on Iranian oil facilities. How should they respond?
That's between me and them.
All right, we got to move on. Go ahead, Tam.
The election is a month away. One, I'd like to know how you're feeling about how this election is going. And then also, do you have confidence that it will be a free and fair election and that it will be peaceful?
Two separate questions.
Very much.
I'm confident it'll be free and fair. I don't know whether it'll be peaceful. The things that Trump has said and the things that he said last time out, that he didn't like the outcome.
That's my president, dude. I'm voting for him. If you vote for him, he will win.
Of the
Just
election
saying, chat.
were very dangerous. If you notice, I noticed
I gotta pee.
that the vice presidential Republican candidate did not say he'd accept the outcome of the election. They haven't even accepted the outcome.
Stop that happening.
There's a lot we are doing. The main thing we can do is try to rally the rest of the world and our allies into participating like the French are in Lebanon and other places to tamp this down. And but when you have proxies as irrational as Hezbollah and the Houthis, and it's a hard thing to determine.
Got to lose.
I gotta go, kid.
I know. Please tell me I gotta go.
I said I'd take a couple questions. Participating like the
Wait,
War in the Middle East. I mean, firstly, aren't we pretty close to that definition already? And secondly, what can you really do to stop that happening?
There's a lot we are doing. The main thing we can do is try to rally the rest of the world and our allies into participating like the French are in Lebanon and other places to tamp this down. And but when you have proxies as irrational as Hezbollah and the Houthis, and it's a hard thing to determine.
Got to lose.
I gotta go, kid.
I know. Please tell me I gotta go.
I said I'd take a couple questions.
All right, you're the last.
I think she's increasing her credibility with it.
Take some more.
Toulouse, you're going to be the last one.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you for spending some time here with us. There have obviously been a number of crises that the country has been facing over the past several days with the hurricane, with the port strike, with the situation in the Middle East. Can you talk about how your vice president, who is running for the presidency, has worked on these crises and what role she has played over the past several days?
Well, I'm in constant contact with her. She's aware we're singing from the same song sheet. She helped pass all the laws that are being employed.
do you think Bibi's kind of blackmailing the Dems for more dollars and weapons by expressing support for the Republicans, or is he really in it for Trump or for both? No, Benjamin Netanyahu is in the tank for Trump. It doesn't matter because he knows fully that like the influence that like the pro-Israeli lobby and its prominent influence on American politics is already set. So neither party is going to swing away from that. Neither party is going to swing away from that. Came to check on my dad, and he's literally doing the meme. That's hilarious. every Lebanese dad. That's fucking hilarious. This is like every Arab father and unc, dude. I don't think Benjamin Netanyahu has to blackmail anybody.
Now, she was a major player in everything we've done, including passage of legislation which we were told we could never pass. And so she's been, and her staff is interlocked with mine in terms of all the things we're doing.
Mr. President, did you ever think about Go ahead. Nandita, sir, no, sir. I didn't call on you, sir. I didn't call on you. Nandita. Thank you. Nandita, go. Nandita.
Mr. President.
Pope Francis calling for a day of prayer and fasting.
Prayer and fasting this Monday, October 7th. Your reaction, sir?
I will pray and fast.
Okay, that's acceptable to you in terms of Israel's response. How long are you okay with Israel bombing Lebanon? What is acceptable to you?
All right,
Get out of here. Asking a question like that. Get out of here, libtard. What the fuck do you mean? Get out of here. Come
That's it.
on.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, sir.
What a
Thank you.
ridiculous
Thank you.
question. Oh, what are you, a journalist? What are you, a fucking journalist? Get the fuck out of here. All right. Let's get back to the dock workers reaching a tentative agreement we found out yesterday before anybody else in the news because we had some ILA workers striking in the chat. Finish the video. He says he's back in the race. I don't care, dude. Yeah, okay, we got it. He said he's back in the race. All right.
Going to start with the breaking news this morning. We're talking about that dock worker strike that threatened to cause severe damage to the U.S.
Here, let's watch this.
On long-range weapons?
Do you want to reconsider dropping out of the race?
I'm back in.
He's back in. He's back in. He's back in the race. We're riding with Brandon. So anyway, Kamala Harris, I believe, is live now. I don't know if she's going to be up. Oh, this is right after she talked to the Arab leadership in Michigan. So maybe we'll see something different from her this time around. Is there a live stream with the subtitles? Do we? Isn't all this voter shaming saying you're letting Trump win, just like the ways they shit on the unions when they're killing the economy? Like, no, the shareholders were killing the economy by not meeting the demands, and Democrats are letting Trump win by actively refusing to engage in policies that will earn their votes? Yes.
Remember his number? 32. Today we got 32 days until the election. So 32 days.
Oh,
32
God.
days. Okay, we got some business to do.
Let's see if she
All
says
right.
anything different.
32 days. And we know we will do it. And this is going to be a very tight race until the very end. This is going to be a very tight race until the very end. We are the underdog, and we know we have some hard work ahead. But here's the thing about us. We like hard work. We like hard work. Hard work is good work. Hard work is good work. And with your help in November, we will win. We will win. We are not playing around. So listen, we know this election is about two very different visions for our nation. One focused on the past, and ours, which is focused on the future. We are fighting for a future where we tap into the ambitions and the aspirations of the American people and build what I call an opportunity economy, so every American has an opportunity to own a home, build wealth, start a business.
I love the opportunity economy. I love that. I'm the opportunity economy
and
voter.
I'm going to speak about do we have small business owners in the house right here? Right? Okay, so on the economy, I'm just going to spend a minute on small businesses. Because let me tell you, so growing up, our mother often worked very long hours. And so my sister Maya and I, we would go over to Miss Shelton's house. Miss Shelton was from Louisiana, and we called her our second mother. And Miss Shelton was a small business owner. And so from being a child, I know who our small business owners are. They are community leaders, civic leaders.
This shit sucks,
they
bro.
mentor. They hire.
This sucks harder than not even having a fucking subscription at the top of the hour when there's a 3-minute ad break. You know what I'm saying? If you were a small business owner, you'd at least be able to fucking subscribe. That's why I'm also for the opportunity economy and the small business owner. Like, I'm sorry, Trump's fucking personal anecdotes and stories are infinitely cooler and more fun to listen to and unhinged. Here's the 3-minute ad break now.
You heard Eric talk.
I'd much rather listen to him talk about Hannibal Lecter or some shit than whatever the fuck this is, okay?
You know, my mother saved up for years to buy our first home. I was a teenager by the time. And we did it by investing in American industry and American workers. And I will make sure that America, not China, wins the competition for the 21st century. Which is why, under my plan, we will invest in the industries that built America, like steel, iron, and the great American auto industry. I see you, Sean. And we will ensure that the next generation of breakthroughs, from advanced batteries to electric vehicles, are not only invented but built right here in America by American union workers. And Michigan, let us be clear, contrary to what my opponent is suggesting, I will never tell you what kind of car you have to drive. But here's what I will do. I will invest in communities like Flint. Flint, which helped build the auto industry and the UAW. We will retool existing factories, hire locally, and work with unions to create good-paying jobs, including jobs that do not require a college degree. Because we understand a college degree is not the only measure of whether a worker has skills and experience to get the job done. In fact, part of my plan is to outline all of the federal jobs that should not require a college degree and make that clear. And when I'm elected, I'm going to challenge the private sector to take on the same approach.
Well, yeah.
And then there's Donald Trump. So Donald Trump has a very different approach. So Donald Trump makes big promises, and he always fails to deliver. He said he was the only one who could bring back America's manufacturing jobs. Remember that? And then America lost nearly 200,000 manufacturing jobs when he was president, including tens of thousands of jobs in Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
And those losses started before the pandemic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they did.
Making Donald Trump one of the biggest losers of manufacturing jobs in American history.
Where is she?
Michigan.
Oh. Whoa.
And his track record for the auto industry was a disaster. He promised workers in Warren that the auto industry would, I'll quote, not lose one plant during his presidency. And then American automakers announced the closure of 6 auto plants when he was president. We need a medic over here.
Are they
We need
passing
a
out?
medic over here.
Yeah, people love her.
Right here.
People love her so much they're dying.
They're dying.
Okay, can everyone part so the medic can come through, please? Let's let the medic through. Okay. Okay. He's okay. All right. We're good.
They didn't need
We
him.
got each other. Good. Good.
Psyop.
So, remembering again what Donald Trump talked about versus what he did, then automakers, American automakers, announced the closure of 6 plants when he was president, including General Motors in Warren and Stellantis in Detroit. Thousands of Michigan auto workers lost their jobs.
Are there protesters?
And when it
Probably.
came to building the cars of the future,
I haven't heard from
Donald
them
Trump
yet.
sat on the sidelines and let China dominate. And then he talks down to American workers, saying we can't compete with Chinese workers.
Yeah, I hate the Chinese.
And make no mistake, Donald Trump is no friend of labor. He encouraged
here they are.
automakers to move their plants out of Michigan so they could pay
No,
their
never mind.
workers less. And when the UAW went on strike to demand higher wages that they deserved, Donald Trump went to a non-union shop, don't forget. And he attacked the UAW.
You hear the protesters?
I
And
do.
he said
Yep.
striking and
A
collective
little bit.
bargaining don't
You hear them
make,
in the background?
quote, a damn
I
bit
think
of
so.
difference. Remember how he's talked about striking workers, that you should fire them. That's how he talks about union labor. That's how he talks about workers. But Flint, we know
You hear them?
strong unions mean higher wages, better health care, and greater dignity for union members and for everyone. And on top of all of that, Donald Trump signed a $2 trillion tax cut that mostly went to the wealthy and big corporations, not to working people.
Oh.
And now he is making the same empty promises to
I
the
don't
people
care. I
of
want to hear
Michigan
about how
that
much
he
more
did
Israel
before.
should be allowed to strike Iran.
But we
I'm
will not
a
be
strike Iran
fooled.
voter.
We will not be gaslighted. Donald Trump's track record is a disaster for working people.
I feel like
And
Americans
if he
get riled
wins
up at
again, it will
the
be
prospect
more
of
the
striking
same.
any country, though.
Check this out. 2 days ago, his running mate, maybe you saw that. No, but how about that Tim Walz, by the way? That's right.
Someone said Tehrangelis.
So
Yes.
2 days ago, Donald Trump's running mate suggested that if Trump wins, he might let the Grand River Assembly plant in Lansing close down. The same plant that our administration helped save earlier this year, along with 650 union jobs. Michigan, we together fought hard for those jobs, and you deserve a president who won't put them at risk. And for anybody watching, you know, if you want to learn more about Donald Trump's plans, just Google Project 2025.
Boo!
It is a detailed and dangerous blueprint for what he will do if he is elected president. Donald Trump will give billionaires and corporations massive tax cuts, attack unions, cut Social Security and Medicare, and impose a Trump sales tax, a 20% tax on everyday basic necessities, which will cost the average family nearly $4,000 a year. And on top of all this, Donald Trump intends to end the Affordable Care Act.
I'm not gonna lie.
Even
This is probably the best Kamala Harris speech I've ever seen her deliver.
Really?
And still
Yes.
has no plan to replace it. You watched the debate. You watched the debate. You saw that.
Like, it's very openly pro-labor. I mean, she's in Michigan, so she has to hit that.
He said he, quote, has concepts of a plan. Concepts.
She's talking about.
No, you know, I have
She even
said
brought up
that I
the
do
combating
believe
price gouging.
He is an unserious man. And the consequences of him being president again are absolutely critically serious. Because think about it. Even
I'm not
on
even talking
healthcare,
about the
he has a
democracy
concept
shit.
of a plan. So he's going to threaten the health insurance of 45 million people in our country based on a concept.
Let's go. Okay, never mind. That's actually, again, good.
To take
I
us
thought she was
back.
gonna do the
You
boring
remember
January
that when
6th shit.
insurance companies could deny people with pre-existing conditions? Remember what that was like?
I do.
Well, Michigan, we are not
going
going
back.
back.
That's right.
We are not going back. We're not going back. We are not going back. No, we are not going back. No. Because we will move forward. Ours is a fight for the future. Ours is a fight for the future, and ours is a fight for freedom. Like the fundamental freedom of a woman to make decisions about her own body and not have her government
Who
tell
are
her.
you voting for? Joseph Robinette Brandon. I'm writing him in.
And these 32 days out from the election, it's important that we remind people how we got here. Donald Trump handpicked 3 members of the United States Supreme Court with the intention that they would overturn Roe v. Wade, and they did.
People will take you seriously. I am
and
serious.
now more than 1 in 3 women in America
Are you really?
lives in a state
Yeah, I'm
with a
gonna write
Trump
him in.
abortion ban. Many with no exceptions, even for rape and incest, which is immoral. And when Congress passes a bill to restore reproductive freedom,
I'm not gonna write Joe Biden though. I think I'm gonna write Joe Brandon instead. Because I feel
as
like
President
I don't even
of
want
the
it to like
United
even on
States,
accident.
I will proudly sign it into law.
I don't even want on accident for Joe Biden like to even aesthetically support him.
Well, I'm not endorsing any
And
candidate,
here's what I want to say.
but I will be voting for one.
Look, and that's not our only battle. Across our nation, we are witnessing a full-on assault on other hard-fought, hard-won freedoms and rights, like the freedom to vote, the freedom to be safe from gun violence, the freedom to join a union,
There's chatters in here saying
the
they're
freedom
Jimmy
to
Carter
love
guys,
who you
and I
love
respect
openly
that.
and with pride.
He looked pretty fucking sexy. He looked pretty fucking sexy.
And the freedom to breathe clean air and drink clean water.
I don't know how he's still alive.
Clint, you know all too well, Clint, that clean water should be a right for everyone, not just for the people who can afford it.
I don't know why
And as
they
president, I
wheel
will
them out on camera
continue
like
to
that.
work with communities like Flint to ensure you not only have clean water, but the opportunity to recover economically and thrive. Michigan, it all comes down to this. We are all here together because we know what is at stake, and we love our country. We love our country. We love our country.
Hell yeah, brother.
And because we love our country, we know it is one of the highest forms of patriotism to then fight for the ideals of our country and to fight to realize the promise of America. That's what this is about. That's what this is about. So, Election Day is in 32 days.
Damn, 32 days?
Yeah.
And
Holy
already
shit.
nearly
I gotta
2
cast my
million
ballot.
ballots are in the hands of Michigan voters
You made up your
alone.
mind?
Oh, I've made up my mind. I'm voting for Trump.
So if you have
That's
received
it,
your
folks.
ballot, please do not wait.
No
Fill it
tax
out
on
and
tips.
return it today.
No tax on tips.
Early
We're going to
voting
close the
starts
southern border.
statewide on October 26th.
That's right. They're eating your
And
cats,
now
folks.
is the time
They're
to
eating
make
your
your
pussy.
plan to vote.
They're eating your pussy, folks.
Because, folks, the election is here.
You're a
The
goddamn,
election is here.
you're a goddamn patriot.
And
That's
we
right,
need
folks.
to energize, organize, and mobilize. And remember, your vote is your voice, and your voice is your power. So, Flint, today I ask, are you ready to make your voices heard?
No. Wow. Met with the Arab leadership, Arab delegation.
Did they?
Didn't even mention fucking Palestine. That's nice.
Did they? When did this happen?
Earlier before this, I think.
Are we ready to fight for it?
Like, it's so dumb. It's so dumb to go to Michigan and not bring up Gaza.
God bless you, and God bless the United
Like, I'm sorry. You're a fucking idiot. Like, you're literally an idiot.
Does she still have the same response when there's protesters? Joe Biden and I have been working around the clock, and we need a ceasefire now. Is that what they're still saying?
He's a
Whenever-
bot, bro. Yes.
Is that what they say? Around the clock, 24/7. Not a moment that goes by.
She's literally a fucking NPC.